The Smoking Mirror, Chapter 19. Carol balked at her brother's request. I couldn't ever kill him, not even if he were about to destroy the planet. When she'd seen him standing there, that column of blue light bursting from his transformed body, the shape of Huitzilopochtli that he had so stupidly assumed, she felt sorry. She had felt only fear for him. She loved him too much to do anything but to try to bring him back with her Quiquani singing magic. The thought of using her abilities to end his life, it was impossible. No one, their mother breathed, is going to kill anyone, not even themselves. She shifted briefly into her jaguar form to heal her wounds, and then she became a human again. Her hair hung straight and long, and her skin glowed beautifully. Sitting up, she brushed dust from her blouse. That monster kept me from shifting for months. I feel much better now. Still could use a hot shower, pero ni modo. They helped her to her feet. Johnny ducked his head in shame. Mom, I'm sorry. Perdóname. Shh, yeah, we'd all fine now. But you heard what he said, Johnny whispered. He planned all of it, and he's going to do more. He's going to make me. She put two fingers against his lips, silencing him. He can't make you do anything you don't want to, Juan Angel. And when it comes time to face him again, you won't be alone. There are many people that fight his schemes. You are in good company, I promise you. Carol felt weirdly jealous. Why didn't Tezcatlipoca attack me with Sewali? Why was he so totally focused on Johnny? Is it because I'm a girl? That's really stupid. Johnny seemed to sense her jumbled up emotional state. Carol, I think he knew he could make me snap faster, you know? That's why he focused all his attention on me. And he knew you are my balance, so he tried knocking you out. Doesn't know how stubborn you can be, though. Thanks. His eyes went serious but soft. I would have burned myself out from the inside. I had no control. But you sang for me, sis. You made me focus on mom and stuff. You saved me. Without warning, he threw his arms around her and squeezed. Thanks, he muttered thickly into her hair. Carol hugged him back. Okay, she said, looking at her mother. What's next? Well, we need to get out of here. Like Carol said, we can't go back. I know, so their mother gestured at the opening in the far wall. A dark path made its way to the threshold and beyond. Let's see what's at the very center, Keith. The passageway they entered was brief. It opened onto an even vaster chamber ceilinged in living wood. The world tree, Carol realized, were right beneath it. There were three other passageways that debouched into the cavern, and from each a different path emerged: red, green, white. All the paths, including the black one they had been following, converged at the center of the chamber, which was dominated by an enormous stone-lipped well that coruscated with light from deep within and illuminated the entire space with a dappled glow. As Carol watched, dozens of brilliant, sparkling masses came streaming along each path and poured themselves into the roiling luminosity at the very heart of Mictlan. They're souls, no? Johnny muttered. Passing beyond. Everything Tezcatlipoca made people fear is a lie. They aren't destroyed. He can't snuff them. Carol heard something then. Tilting her head, she tried to listen more closely. ¿Qué pasa, amor? Her mother asked. Are you okay? Don't you hear that? It's music. The portals of her soul opened, and the song rolled in on majestic swells of sweet bliss. There were no words. It was a hymn of completion, of satisfaction, of long-needed rest. Hope, she felt, and love, eternal epiphany, unity, peace. Dropping to her knees, she stared at the well, overcome. What? Johnny asked, crouching beside her, worry on his face. What's wrong? She looked at him and smiled. Nothing, Johnny. Nothing's wrong. Everything's gonna be fine. No matter what comes, we'll all be okay. Her mother tousled her hair lovingly, and looked around. I'm not sure what road we should take, kids. Any suggestions? I'd opt for the green road, were I you. Carol lifted her eyes. Walking through the entrance along the green path was Xolotl in human form. His blue eyes twinkled in the shimmering light. Souls streamed past him on either side. Nice of you to join us, Johnny said with a smirk. I mean, I guess I understand Mrs. 4-in-1 told you you couldn't make it through Xibalba, but man, we sure could have used some help. Johnny, muttered Carol, that's not fair. We had lots of help. And the rest you handled splendidly. Xolotl gestured for them to approach him. Carol stood, and the three walked in a semicircle around the Well of Souls. You were incredible. Despite all that assailed you, you held fast to your own identities and to the love that makes your family strong. You are truly heroes, my children, and we are proud of your steadfastness. Yeah, we also kicked some major butt, Johnny added with a half smile as they reached Xolotl's side. That you did, Juanankin, that you did. Their mother was staring at the man with eyes wide. Carol noticed with surprise that her bottom lip was actually trembling. Are you him? Xolotl's eyes grew soft, and he reached out to touch her head in a fatherly gesture. No, Veronica, or rather, just a small part of him. But he sees you, dear. So does his mother. They're ever watchful. Carol wasn't sure what the two of them meant, but there was little time for deciphering. Xolotl nodded firmly and turned away. We've a need for speed, so you'll have to cling tightly. Riding the green can be treacherous. He shifted into his giant hound form, and Carol soon found herself boosted into place upon his broad back, her mother and brother beside her. Say goodbye to Miklan, children. I suppose you'll never tread this realm again. Scoffing, Johnny said, Good riddance. Their mother whispered something unintelligible. Carol was silent, but as a massive dog began to run along the green path through the strange caverns of Chiquinawa Mictlan, she thought that she might not mind taking this road beyond. At the very least, she hoped that Tezcatlipoca's hold on the place would loosen now, so that its ancient function, preparing souls for the next stage, could continue in peace. Then they were at the circular lake, and the water surged green and pure from the inky depths, lifting Xolotl higher and bearing them at impossible speeds back along the 9 deserts. Each of those levels of Mictlan became a blur beneath them, muted by speed and the foaming liquid. Carol clung tightly to Xolotl, burying her face in his short red hair. Her mother's arms were about her. The wind whistled by loudly. It was impossible to hear anything except the echoes of that haunting song that had risen from the Well of Souls. Finally, the waves slowed and dipped, splashing broadly into the waters of Chignawapan. Xolotl paddled the rest of the way to shore, where the green road terminated in the strange roiling curtain that divided this dimension from theirs. I wish this could be the end of it for them, their mother said, somewhat between stern and hopeful. Johnny is very worried about the lies Tezcatlipoca told him. Xolotl nodded his shaggy head. I understand, but they are special. You knew it when they were born. We will work to protect them, to keep the struggle far away. But the Lord of Chaos has designs for them, and they must be prepared. I can prepare them, their mother said, nodding to herself. I'll teach them everything my mother and the Sapame showed me. I had assumed nothing less, but, Veronica, you know nothing of the savage magic they can wield. No one does. Not I, nor Tezcatlipoca, not Tezcatlipoca or the Blessed Mother. We have inklings of how it might be triggered. We understand its implications for this world, but we cannot use it directly. Even if it were permitted to us, we do not have the lore required. Carol could sense the frustration in her mother. The woman shook her head in disbelief. Well, who does? Sholoto glanced upward. You would have to ascend to the uppermost branches of the world tree, to Omeyokan itself, to find an answer to that question. Johnny made a dismissive sound and smirked. In other words, we're on our own. In terms of learning to wield Shoshal, yes. Carol felt impatience rising in her. She touched her mother's arm. We'll figure it out together. But there'll be time for that. Can we please just go home? Dad's probably freaking out. Tia Andrea, too. Veronica nodded. So, what do we do? Shelton nudged the gray curtain with his muzzle. Push through at this point. You'll emerge in the mountains again, close to Monterrey. Carol reached out and touched the hound's short red fur. Thank you, Sholoto. We owe you. Their guide grinned. Oh, the debt is mine, child. Ours. You have risen to the challenges and foiled the dark plans of chaos for a time. Now go. Enjoy your lives. Love one another. Rejoice in the beauty of the world you've protected. Johnny stepped toward the curtain, reaching back for his mother's hand. She grabbed a hold of him and clasped Carol's hand as well. Goodbye, Miklan, Carol muttered. She felt the slightest, inexplicable twinge of regret. Then Johnny pushed through the gray, pulling them after him.